Hello, my name is Alice, and the historian has asked me to come and entertain you all with a few recitations. I hate recitations, but I do like the historian. So I thought I'd share with you a few of the poems that I learned in Wonderland. I hope you'll like them. The first one is actually one that often precedes my tale in printings, called All in the Golden Afternoon. All in the golden afternoon, full leisurely we glide, for both our oars with little skill by little arms are plied, while little hands make vain pretence our wanderings to guide. Ah, cruel three, in such an hour, beneath such dreamy weather, to beg a tale of breath too weak to stir the tiniest feather. Yet what can one poor voice avail against 3 tongues together? Imperious Prima flashes forth her edict to begin it. In gentler tones Segunda hopes there will be nonsense in it, while Tertia interrupts the tale not more than once a minute. Anon to sudden silence one, in fancy they pursue, the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new, in friendly chat with bird or beast, and half believe it true. And ever as the story drained the wells of fancy dry, and faintly strove that weary one to put the subject by, the rest next time, it is next time, the happy voices cry. Thus grew the tale of Wonderland, thus slowly one by one, its quaint events were hammered out, and now the tale is done. And home we steer a merry crew beneath the setting sun. Alice, a childish story take, and with gentle hand lay it where childhood's dreams are twined in memory's mystic band, like pilgrims' withered wreath of flowers plucked in a far-off land. The second I'd like to share is a poem that Wonderland changed as I recited it to the caterpillar, and I like the new version rather better. It begins with, "You are old, Father William." "You are old, Father William," the young man said, "and your hair has become very white, and yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right?" "In my youth," Father William replied to his son, "I feared it might injure the brain, but now that I am perfectly sure that I have none, why, I do it and do it again." "You are old," said the youth, "as I mentioned before, and have grown most uncommon fat, yet you turned a back somersault at the door. Pray, what is the reason of that?" "In my youth," said the sage, as he shook his grey locks, "I kept all my limbs very supple by the use of this ointment, 1 shilling a box. Allow me to sell you a couple." "You are old," said the youth, "and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet, yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it?" "In my youth," said his father, "I took to the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength which it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life." "You are old," said the youth. "One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever. Yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever?" "I have answered 3 questions, and that is enough," said his father. "Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you down the stairs." It's a bit uncouth, perhaps, but maybe that's why we like it. Thank you for listening to my poems. I'm just kidding. I know everyone wants to hear my favorite, maybe the greatest nonsense poem of all time. Jabberwocky. This one comes from Looking Glass World, a poem I read and then had explained to me by Humpty Dumpty, but I think it conjures all kinds of curious visions, even without any explanation. "'Twas brillig, and the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the wabe, all mimsy where the borogoves and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought, So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood awhile in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frab just stay, callooh, callay. He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Thank you for listening to my poems.